Papo Jr. This is the Ring Out Podcast where I do the Aftermath post show on Raw on Tuesdays, Aftermath post show SmackDown on Saturdays. This Monday, January 6th, I'm doing a watch along for the debut of Monday Night Raw on Netflix. History is going to be made tomorrow night. Huge show, very huge show tomorrow night. Can't wait for that. Whoever clicks on this video, hope you join me tomorrow night. I'll be live here on YouTube. There's competition out there, but I don't give a damn. I'ma do my thing. Hopefully, I get to grow a community, a family here on this channel, Ring Out Podcast. And yeah, today, this is what we do over here. We do the podcast. We talk about the shows, the weekly shows, Raw and SmackDown. We do watch along PLEs, WWE PLEs. We also do reactions on this channel, from other wrestling content, other wrestling channels like this one, Tap Out Corner, top 10 worst wrestling moments in 2024. When in a new year, 2025, Happy New Year to each and every one of you. Hope you had a blast. Hope you had a good Christmas with your families and all that. Back to work. Back to work. Bills got to be paid and all that good stuff. Same for me. I got to go back to work. Ladies and gentlemen, I ain't going to waste your time. Let's fucking do this, bro. Top 10 worst wrestling moments in 2024. Woo! Let's go.
These are the top 10 worst things that happened in wrestling in 2024. This list is open to any company, WWE, AEW, TNA, and more. Nobody
Just give it to AEW throughout the whole year. No, I'm joking. They had some good wrestling, some little good moments. Bryan Danielson winning the World Heavyweight Championship at All in front of his family over there in the UK. That was a great moment. I can't think of nothing else, to be honest with you. Will Ospreay matches, those are good moments, but we're talking about the worst moments. Let's see what's up.
is off the hook. And to make things interesting, we'll find out at the end which company had the worst 2024. Each ranking will result in that company getting a strike. The higher the ranking, the more strikes the company will get. The company with the most strikes at the end had the worst 2024. With that out of the way, let's start with number 10, Samantha Irvin leaves WWE. Despite being a ring announcer, the fans are somewhat divided on Samantha Irvin. One side loves the energy and personality she brought to ring introductions, while the other thinks she took too much from the show. I think a wrestling show works best when everyone is doing the best job they can, so I always appreciated Irvin's ring introductions.
At first, for me, it caught me off guard because I'm not used to ring announcers like really having that big personality in the WWE. But then she grew on me. She did her thing. She does it with passion and emotion, and she did a great, fantastic job at being a ring announcer. Unfortunately, she decided to leave because she wanted to do more things. And yeah,
However, in October 2024, Samantha Irvin abruptly left WWE. Apparently, the reason for Irvin's departure was to pursue a music career and other projects that she couldn't focus on while being part of WWE. However, I think the most shocking revelation came directly from Samantha herself. While
yeah,
replying to a
she didn't
comment
want to
on
do
social
it.
media, Irvin said she never really liked re-announcing, and it was more of a way for her to get into WWE. It was surprising because she seems so passionate about announcing that I would have never guessed she was indifferent to it. I get that Samantha Irvin was just a ring announcer, but she was on a roll and on her way to potentially being the greatest announcer of all time. I wouldn't rule out a return, but if Samantha Irvin comes back as a ring announcer, I think it's going to feel a bit awkward knowing that it was just a stepping stone. Strike one for WWE. Number
Wepa.
9, Jimmy Uso versus Jey Uso. WWE has a fascinating
That
tradition of
that
having
was
Roman
not a
brothers
good
face off
match.
At WrestleMania every 15 years. At WrestleMania 10, it was Bret Hart versus Owen Hart. At WrestleMania 25, it was Jeff and Matt Hardy. And at WrestleMania 40, it was Jimmy and Jey Uso. On paper, Uso versus Uso sounds like a good idea. They were key parts of the Bloodline storyline that had
It
been going
did.
on since 2020. The WrestleMania match had a ton of build and a great story. It seemed impossible to mess up. So here's how they messed it up. The match was slow, with awkward pauses throughout. It just never really got going, which led to
I
the
don't
crowd.
I can't stand. I mean, it's good for the moment, but that pausing just to get the fans into it, you know, like you trying to get a reaction out of them, like this is big. Like, bro, you're not on that level. You're not on that Hogan and Rock level, man. That they can do that. You were not nobody in this company except for like Roman versus CM Punk. Roman versus CM Punk. That's a you can pause and get a reaction from the crowd. The Usos, nah, you're not on that level. Nope. And it was a good idea. The story was there, but then once the match, it was so slow, and it exposed both of them, and exposed both of them that they were better as a tag team. But they're slowly well, Jay is improving to be more as a single superstar. Fans love him. He's over as fuck. Every fucking city he goes to. Jimmy, he needs to work on himself if he's gonna be a solo, you know. And yeah, man.
Crowd dying, which made things even worse. In fact, Jimmy Uso had to yell at his own daughter to get off her phone.
He wanted to be with his brother. He wanted Jimmy to get away from the damn bloodline and Roman Reigns.
However, the biggest complaint of Uso vs. Uso was how many Dane super kicks it had. I'm honestly surprised the Young Bucks didn't file a lawsuit. Guys, that move used to be a finisher. Making it even worse was that Jimmy
I
and
missed
Jay
that.
didn't sell half of the super kicks. I guess it's those hard Samoan heads. Besides that, the two lacked chemistry. Jimmy Uso's acting in the middle of the match, asking for forgiveness, wasn't good, and the whole ending felt underwhelming. I guess it was kind of fitting that Dude Wipes was the sponsor.
That's
What really
crazy.
stinks, though, is that this was a story that essentially began 14 years ago when the Usos debuted in WWE, and this was the payoff. That's 2 additional strikes against WWE. Putting them
2
at
strikes.
3. Number 8, TNA fires Scott D'Amore. At Bound for Glory 2023, Impact Wrestling announced that the company would be no more. Instead, they were going back to their roots, and they would now be called TNA again. TNA's president, Scott D'Amore, made the announcement with this famous line. The name change became official on January 13th, 2024 at the Hard to Kill pay-per-view. Not only that, but the event also had the largest live gate for the company in nearly a decade, so it seemed like TNA was starting off 2023 on the right foot. However, that didn't last long. About 3.5 weeks later, Scott D'Amore was abruptly fired from his position as TNA president. It was never flat out said what the reason was, but it seems like D'Amore wanted more to be invested in TNA than what Anthem, TNA's parent company, wanted to invest.
Tony
Either way,
Khan
it
did
was
them
upsetting
dirty,
for a lot
bro.
of wrestlers and fans. Scott D'Amore had been instrumental in helping bring TNA back, and a lot of wrestlers enjoyed working for TNA under his leadership. It seemed like the textbook definition of a lull TNA moment. As I said, TNA had a successful relaunch, and they seemed to be on a resurgence. Then, TNA fires its president. Now, to be fair, TNA still has done pretty well. About 5 months after Scott D'Amore's firing, TNA hosted their Slammiversary pay-per-view. That had an even higher attendance than Hard to Kill. Additionally, TNA has expanded its partnership with WWE, with more TNA wrestlers appearing in WWE and vice versa. Scott D'Amore launched his own wrestling company in October 2024, Maple Leaf Pro Wrestling. So even though D'Amore's firing wasn't a good thing, it seems like everyone rebounded. Still, that's 3 strikes against TNA. Number 7, Chris Jericho's learning tree. Chris Jericho is one of the best wrestlers when it comes to reinventing himself. Y2J seemed to always know exactly when and how to introduce a new character or gimmick, and it was almost always a hit. However, in 2024, Jericho hit a bump in the road. In March 2024, Chris Jericho attempted to mentor Hook. When Hook didn't take the bait, Jericho fought and defeated him to become the FTW champion. Y2J then dubbed himself the Learning Tree and began offering unsolicited and arrogant advice. The Learning Tree soon turned into a faction, with Big Bill, formerly known as Big Cass, and Brian Keith at Chris Jericho's side. Now, I get it. The Learning Tree is meant to take the criticism of Chris Jericho and other veteran wrestlers and turn it into a gimmick designed to get booze. But just because I intentionally made a bad meal doesn't mean the food is now suddenly good. Now, I don't think the Learning Tree is inherently bad. I think it has more to do with Chris Jericho.
More, it's fucking garbage, bro. It's terrible television. Big, what's his name? Big Bill? He deserves way better than this crap right here. Big Bill deserves way better than this shit. Brian Keith, I don't know, bro, to be honest. I don't know what he can do. Find a tag team or some shit. But this learning tree shit is fucking ass. Eventually they're gonna break up and Big Bill's gonna like face Jericho or some shit. And then they're gonna break away from each other. Cause this learning tree shit is ass, bro. It's fucking ass. It's terrible television.
I feel like a lot of people would agree when I say I don't think it would be bad if Jericho went off TV for a while. Why is that? Well, obviously, there were the sexual misconduct allegations that surfaced in late 2023. As
Yeah,
far
what
as I
happened to
know,
that?
there's never been any real closure to it, which left a bad taste in people's mouths. There was also the infamous picture of Jericho's wife participating in the January 6th insurrection that began floating around too. But talking about the learning tree itself, it just doesn't have the allure like Jericho's other gimmicks. It seems like he's less focused on creating compelling stories and characters and more on getting names and catchphrases over, like, hey guys, TV time, and Nueve. I think Jericho and even AEW would be better if we just had a break from Y2J. 4 strikes for AEW. Number 6, the continuing decay of the NWA. Before I dive into this, I gotta say, there's no part of me that enjoys the NWA or any wrestling company failing. That said, I'm gonna be frank about what's happening with the NWA. The COVID-19 pandemic negatively affected the entire wrestling landscape. However, while WWE seemed to come out of it stronger, it was the opposite story for the NWA. Sure, it wasn't just COVID that hurt the NWA, but I think it was the starting point, and things have continued to get worse and worse. In October 2024, NWA Power was taken off the CW app. Granted, NWA wasn't on proper TV, but it was the biggest platform the NWA had ever been on since Billy Corgan took over in 2017. After getting the boot from the CW, NWA began posting episodes of Power to Twitter or X. Now, that wouldn't be such a big issue, but did you even know that? When the NWA was bought by Billy Corgan, it had energy and excitement behind it. But as the years went on, the NWA started to become less relevant and mocked more. Sure, Tyrus as NWA World Champion in 2023 wasn't good, but at least people paid attention.
Who paid attention? Like, what, the 45 of y'all? Like, I had no idea they were a thing. I remember NWA Power. I remember that. Eli Drake was there. That's where I saw Ricky Starks for the first time ever in my fucking wrestling life as a fan. Ricky Starks right there. And then once I heard him speak, giving a promo, I was like, damn, this dude got a fucking future. And then unfortunately, look how Tony Khan is treating him. Fucking cocksucker. Can't wait when he goes to WWE. And that's not gonna be no time soon. They extended his fucking contract. Oh well. Shit sucks, man. But NWA, I didn't know that was a thing. Is that a small person? Jesus.
If 2023 was the year of mockery for the NWA, then 2024 was the year of irrelevance. Again, there's no part of me that enjoys saying that, but that's where we're at. That's 5 strikes against NWA, putting them at number 1, at least for now. Number 5, AEW airs the CM Punk Jack Perry footage. Back in August,
This is where I
2023,
stopped
AEW
watching
hosted All
right
In
after
at Wembley
this.
Stadium in London. It was the company's biggest event yet in terms of attendance, and what should have been a monumental night for AEW ended up becoming one of its most infamous. Backstage, CM Punk and fellow AEW wrestler Jack Perry got into a real fight. Obviously, there were a number of events that led up to that point, but that whole saga could be a video in of itself. Anyways, the fight was broken up almost as soon as it started, and CM Punk soon left AEW and returned to WWE about 3 months later.
Thank you,
In April
Tony Khan.
2024, CM Punk did a big tell-all interview addressing the incident at Wembley Stadium for the first time. In response to this, AEW announced that they would show the security camera footage of the fight.
They
on the
thought they were
show,
cool doing
Dynamite.
this.
The footage aired, and while it did increase viewership, it was a case of short-term gains and long-term pains. The decision didn't do anything to help AEW's image or favorability among fans.
I was in fear of my
opposite
life.
effect. Airing the footage just felt desperate, and it seemed like something WCW would do during its final years. It would have been one thing if AEW aired the footage shortly after the incident.
They were cheering for CM Punk right there, bro. They thought they were cool. They thought they were doing something there. That, yeah, we're going to get sympathy from the fans and more people. Like, look, Punk is the bad guy. The fucking egotistical mindset of these fucking people is fucking bananas, bro. Like, if you would have just let that go and stop mentioning Punk. Stop. I know even in 2025, there's gonna be something about AEW and CM Punk. Watch. Because recently it was about Ryan Nemeth. That's his name? Whatever. Dolph Ziggler's brother. Ryan Nemeth and CM Punk. Recently, there was news, AEW news about that. That Ryan Nemeth got fired from AEW because of Punk and shit like that. It's like they can't. CM Punk is in their fucking heads rent free, bro. It's fucking sad and pathetic. Move the fuck on already, bro. Stop it. Worry about your fucking product because it's dying. Well, it's not dying. It's not going anywhere. But your fan base are not caring anymore. Look at the fucking look at the fucking ratings that just happened for January 1st. 588,000. Now people are gonna be like, but some people watching it on Max. I doubt a lot of people were watching that shit on Max, bro. They swear that AEW is the fucking conglomerate fucking shit. Is that the right word for it? I don't fucking know. That is the best shit in the fucking world, bro. Max is not worldwide. It's not. I say about maybe like 100 few thousands of people were watching it on Max. I'll give them that. So it's probably the same shit y'all been getting every week, bro. Either 700,000 or less than that a week. It's sad, bro. You lost your fan base. I'm one of them. Now I did watch January 1st, but I didn't watch it live. I watched it the next day. I'm gonna do the same thing January 8th next week. Next Wednesday. This Wednesday. I'm gonna give it another shot. Kenny Omega's gonna be there. MJF is gonna be there, but MJF is not the same anymore. It's sad, bro. And there's a way to bring back Punk into this just to get attention, bro. It's sad, bro. It's fucking sad.
But they chose to show it 7.5 months later. It gave the impression that AEW was in such a need to get people to watch that they had to use a low quality, silent 45-second clip of an ex employee to increase viewership. I don't know what's worse, the fact that AEW actually did it, or the fact that it worked. That's 6 more strikes for AEW, but there's still 4 more rankings to go. Number 4, WWE and money. There are a lot of little things that WWE did in 2024 that I'm gonna lump together. The reason is that, while they are different issues, they all revolve around one thing.
It's all about the money. It's all about the money.
Let's start with the most obvious, WWE's sponsors. Now, WWE has always had advertisers as part of their show, but it's getting ridiculous. Granted, WWE has been racking up sponsors for a few years now, but 2024 was no exception. Any available spot around the ring seems to have a logo on it now. Not only that, but because there are so many advertisers, it takes time away from the actual show, especially during the PLEs. However, an even bigger offense than that is WWE's adoption of dynamic ticket.
If the ads bothered you, then that's your problem. That shit didn't even bother me at all. Why are you paying so much attention to that? Pay attention to the show. The prime in the fucking middle of the ring did not bother me at all. I didn't give a shit. I was paying attention to the show. Why did that bother you? Prime local in the turnbuckle. Who gives a fuck? Shows me what kind of people you are, man. Oh, that's bothering. Why is a prime bottle? What the fuck is wrong with y'all? Let them make their money. What else you got? What else you got to say here?
Pricing. This causes tickets to adjust in price based on things like demand and timing. This has resulted in WWE tickets skyrocketing in price. WrestleMania 41 tickets, for example, are well into the 4 figures, and some even go for
God
5.
damn.
The cheapest tickets I found for both nights of WrestleMania 41 were $1,000, and that's not even counting all the taxes and fees that are added.
I agree with that. They are wildin', bro, but people are willing to pay for it. And if people are willing to pay for it, fuck it. That's how business works. If the ticket is hot, they're gonna put a price, any price they want to make more money. There's people out there that are willing to pay for it, maxing their fucking credit cards. Oh, I want to be there for the experience. All right, you want to spend 15 grand on this shit? I'd rather put that fucking money into my mortgage or something like that, bro. Keep paying on, and then then you can't pay your car note, your insurance, you're behind on bills. If you got it like that, more power to you, bro. If you don't got it like that and you willing to spend all that bread for the experience, something's wrong with you, man. It's a one time in life. No, fuck off, bro. Worry about yourself first, man. I'm never going to these shit. Well, I'm not. I can't say never. But last time I went to a WWE show, I believe it was 2019. It was MSG when SmackDown and Raw was there. Stone Cold was on MSG that Monday Night Raw, and Stone Cold stunner AJ Styles. I believe that was 2019. That was the last WWE show I've ever went to. And yeah, man, I'm not fucking. I'd rather fucking be in my own crib, comfortable, and enjoying the show there. And yeah, it's a cool live experience to be there, but y'all niggas is fucking wildin', bro. 5 grand, and you're not even on the floor seat, bro. 15 grand to sit on the floor seat. Get the fuck out of here, bro. Y'all is wildin', cuz. Like, and there's gonna be shows that, damn, this show wasn't all that. It, but I don't know. People are willing to spend that much just for the experience. If y'all got it, yo, go. I'm not gonna tell you don't do it. If you got it like that, go ahead and do it, man. Go enjoy yourself. But me, fuck out of here. Y'all wildin'.
On. But hey, people are still buying them. Also,
Exactly.
let's get rid of the post-show press
Yeah,
conferences.
get rid of
I know
that
this
shit,
isn't
bro.
exactly
It's
fitting at this
corny,
point,
bro.
But hey, those have sponsors too. Really, the media scrum.
I don't
press
watch it,
conference
but it's
idea was
corny.
neat when AEW introduced it, but I think it's run its course. Particularly for WWE, they're just corporate PR, and WWE patting themselves on the back. Sure, there's the occasional highlight like Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso getting drunk, but those are few and far between. Plus, whenever a good question gets asked, like the Vince McMahon scandal or diversity issues, the response is usually just corporate copy and paste and doesn't really answer anything. That's a whopping 7 strikes for WWE, tying them in AEW. Number 3, AEW's decline. Like with the NWA, I don't get a kick out of AEW struggling. However, before I get into that, I must acknowledge AEW's biggest business win in 2024. In October, the company announced it had signed a new media rights deal with Warner Bros. Discovery for $550 million, an increase from their previous deal. That's excellent news for AEW, and something that can't be ignored, because there was a lot of bad news in 2024. One of the most obvious is AEW's decline in attendance. Pictures of half-empty AEW arenas were not uncommon in 2024, but what's worse than declining attendance is declining TV viewership. Pretty much all 3 of AEW's TV shows saw a decrease in viewers from each quarter in 2024. Even AEW's flagship show Dynamite brought in fewer viewers in the 4th quarter of 2024 than when Collision and Rampage launched. In fact, AEW Rampage got canceled in December 2024, presumably because of the numbers it was bringing in. There were also some backstage issues with AEW as well. Wrestlers were being left at home because the company didn't have anything for them, as well as AEW extending some wrestlers' contracts, despite said wrestlers wanting to leave. In general, AEW doesn't have the same excitement that it had when it first launched in 2019. There are a ton of reasons for that, but regardless, 2024 was a mixed bag for AEW, to say the least. 8 strikes for All Elite Wrestling. Number 2, Tessa Blanchard returns to TNA. In 2020, Tessa Blanchard was a rising star in women's wrestling. She was signed to TNA, but it seemed inevitable that she would end up in either WWE or AEW. She was that good. In fact, Blanchard became the first and only woman to hold the TNA World Championship. Tessa was on top of the world, and then she destroyed it all with one tweet. In January 2020, Tessa Blanchard posted on Twitter saying, "Hey women, try supporting one another. Cool things happen." This prompted backlash from multiple female wrestlers who said Tessa had bullied women backstage, publicly put them down, tried to blacklist people, and even spat in a black woman's face and called her the N-word. Despite this, TNA stood by her and only fired Tessa Blanchard when she refused to come to work. Rather than apologize, Blanchard pretty much doubled down. This forced Tessa to wrestle in Mexico, as no US company would touch her. That was until December 2024, when TNA secretly rehired Tessa Blanchard. In fact, wrestlers and even some higher-ups in the company didn't know Tessa was being brought back until she arrived backstage for her return. The locker room was reportedly split on Tessa being brought back, but there were people who were glad to see her. Now, it's not so much Tessa Blanchard herself returning that makes this list, but how TNA handled it and the message it sent. The fact that they felt they needed to hide Blanchard's return is a red flag to begin with. However, it feels like a slap in the face. TNA fired Scott D'Amore, someone who is very pro-TNA, helped rebuild the brand, and never embarrassed the company. But they rehired Tessa Blanchard, someone with a list of terrible allegations, and someone who wouldn't film promo videos from her home while being the world champion. I get from TNA's side that they're losing talent, but the way they went about bringing Tessa Blanchard back was completely wrong. 9 strikes against TNA. Now this next ranking will determine which company had the worst 2024. And number 1, Vince McMahon and lawsuits.
The
We knew
lawsuits.
this was coming. Sure, the allegations against Vince McMahon are just that, allegations. But if just 1% is true, that's more than enough to earn a spot on this list. The Janelle Grant allegations are the most well known, but there were so many more. Allegations surfaced from a previously unpublished statement from Ashley Massaro, and Vince McMahon and WWE were later hit with an entirely different lawsuit from the infamous Ring Boy scandal. To say WWE's lawyers and PR team had their work cut out for them in 2024 is an understatement. That gives WWE 10 more strikes and gives them the dishonor of having the worst 2024. Now, that doesn't mean WWE wasn't good in 2024. Far from it. I'm still amazed at the stuff Liv Morgan and Dominic Mysterio got away with. To see what they did with each other, watch this video.
Nah, I'm good. That shit kind of corny. It was fun at times, but nah. Non PG WWE moments, like, come on, bro. Y'all couldn't survive in the Attitude Era. But worst moments, I mean, yeah, Vince McMahon fucking did that to the company, bro. Gave him a bad look to the company. Investors and the public media, i- i- you know, they'll give him that side eye to that company. Like, these are the type of people they have in that company, running that company, and then what recently just happened with that guy, what's his name, Lee Fitting, how he spoke about women, speak to women, making like he wasn't sexually harassing people, but it was like those type of comments he was making, like, oh, to that lady, que you want to get a hotel room or some shit like that, just talk business, and making sexual remarks about women, that what they would do to them, and as a jokingly way, and it's just unacceptable. It's unacceptable, bro. Like, you can't have that type of, that kind of talk. Like, keep that shit to yourself, bro. You can't have that kind of talk in a workplace openly. It looks bad, and WWE is looking even more bad. Like, having somebody like Lee Fitting there, Vince McMahon made it worse. The dude was running the comp. He was the owner. He's not the owner anymore. He was the owner. He made WWE what it is today, bro. And I'm grateful for that. But Vince, what you do behind the scenes, all those fucking fucked up shit you done, that's something I can't support. That's disgusting. And I can't respect somebody like that at all. So, worst wrestling moments in 2024, you gotta give it to WWE. Couldn't agree with that. There's some things I didn't agree with, like the ads. Like, really, bro? If that bothered you, something's wrong with you, man. Pay attention to the show, not to the ads. Oh, it's just an eyesore. Then you have a fucking problem, man. Short attention span. Pay attention to the fucking match and the storylines. You're gonna let something like that fucking get in the way. The money, tickets are skyrocketing. WWE is hot. And look at this year, 2025, John Cena Farewell Tour. This shit is out. They sold out, I believe, Elimination Chamber, or they're about to sell out in Toronto, Canada. WrestleMania tickets is still out there. They haven't sold out yet, both nights. And show is hot, man. The product is hot, and it's still gonna continue to be hot this year, man. AEW, y'all got a lot of work to do, bro. A lot of work to do. Stop worrying about Punk, man. Stop worrying about him. Do your own thing. I hope this year, y'all didn't start good. January 1st, y'all didn't start good. I'm sorry. That's my opinion. I watched it. I'm like, New Year's, same old shit. But I can't attack them right away. I was supposed to do a review on Thursday on AEW for Fight for the Fallen, but to be honest, I was like, fuck this shit. I'm gonna give it another chance. Let me give it another week. Kenny Omega's returning. MJF is coming back as well. And let's see what happens. The Young Bucks, I saw that they're IWGP, either heavyweight or junior tag team champions, whatever. They're bringing that. They don't want to close that forbidden door, man. They don't want to close it. And they got a big show coming up in Australia in February. TNA, they still doing, even though I don't watch it, they still doing their thing. Tessa Blanchard, all you had to do was apologize. All you had to do was apologize and admit your wrongs, but a while back, but you didn't do that. Now everybody's looking at you like, why the fuck is she back? Some people in the locker room are happy. That shows you what kind of person that you are. Because I don't respect somebody like Tessa Blanchard spinning on black women, talking down about the women, being a bully and shit like that. No, you did not apologize not once. Shame on you. So you cannot be mad at the fans and some people in the locker room are not happy that she's back in TNA. And shame on TNA for fucking bringing her back, bro. All you had to do was apologize. That's it. Why you think WWE or AEW did not want nothing to do with her when she was a free agent? You're a PR nightmare. Like, get the fuck out of here, bro. NWA, I got no hope for you. I'm sorry. And yeah, ladies and gentlemen, this is the Ring Out Podcast. I go by the name of Papa Jr. I put my outro music mad late, but it's fine. It's cool. Like I said before and in the beginning of the show, Aftermath Raw, with this the post show. Tuesdays, I'm going to do a watch along this Monday, tomorrow night. History's being made. January 6th, Raw on Netflix. They don't change the game, bro. I hope we're not getting no fucking Netflix buffering and shit like that. And they said that the commercial's gonna be flexible, so I'm interested in what they're gonna do with it. Because they could do whatever they want. It's Netflix. It's not cable television. That's just done. If you're not in the US, if you're not in the States, SmackDown is on Netflix, which is cool for y'all. But if you're here in the States, USA Network, unfortunately. And yeah. Aftermath Tuesdays, Raw post show. Aftermath post show. SmackDown Saturdays. Watch along Raw, Netflix. Every PLE, WWE PLE, watch along. Because as long as it's on Saturdays, watch alongs. Maybe in the future. Listen, I need a family right here. I need a community. Hit the like, hit the subscribe button, comment down below how you felt about this video. Put me in the algorithm. Tell YouTube, this guy, he's been working his ass off. He needs more people. I would like to have a family here. Maybe I'll do a watch along on Fridays for SmackDown. Maybe. That's a lot of post shows, but I need a family first, bro. Ladies and gentlemen, appreciate y'all. Ring Out Podcast, Papa Jr. I'm signing out.
Goodbye. Mwah. And good night, bang.
One love. One love. Yeah.